This is a clip from the Red Cow Arcade podcast.
You've got a video you're making. Top NES games.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's really in pre-production, like pre-production. I've just been thinking about it, and because I don't know, it's just we were talking. People were like really responding to my media content. So I was like, oh, what are the things that I want to do that people would like? And so I started thinking about my favorite NES games. It's pretty tough. I actually like a lot of NES games. There's quite a few. But yeah, it's in the works. It's in the works.
Well, when you said, "Hey, this is tough to choose them," I said, "I wonder if I can." And I jumped out of bed one night, 11 o'clock, and I started writing down NES games. And I thought it might be fun because I'm unlikely to make a top NES games video of my own. I thought it might be fun to tell you about what my top NES games would be, what my choices would be. So it all starts with what you owned as a kid, I'd say, right? Like,
yeah,
that shapes your taste. And the games I had so few that I can name them all very easily. Batman, Sunsoft, Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle, Duck Hunt, World Class Track Meet, Super Mario Bros. 1, Ghostbusters, Jeopardy! Junior Edition, Legend of Zelda, Mario 2 and 3, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, but not the third one, Tetris, Tiny Toon Adventures, and that's it. That's all of them. And then I borrowed Dick Tracy for so long, it's almost like an honorary. I borrowed that from my friend. It's almost like an honorary owned thing. So here's my what's easier? Should I go favorite to last, or should I go last to favorite?
Do a countdown. So do last to favorite.
Okay. So I made 20 because I wanted to kind of include more games, basically. Nice. So number 20 is Castlevania, and that's the only time you're going to see Castlevania on this list. I like that game. I get it, everybody. I think it's too fucking hard, honestly. And
I beat it on stream.
And I actually, you know what? I'll even say this. I'm not like that impressed by the graphics. I think they're a little. No,
they're ugly. I think they're a bit ugly.
Yeah, I think they're a bit ugly. They don't pop for me like a Mario 2 or something like that. Like the stairs that are like orphaned stairs.
Yeah.
You know,
but there's a charm in it. There's a charm in it.
It's good. It's definitely fun. The music's very good too.
Yeah, the music is amazing.
But I like it. I don't love it. And on a similar note, TMNT 3, the Manhattan Project, it's in many ways has all the same things as the arcade game does and more, but it's too hard. You try to get through that whole game without dying, you can't do it.
I remember having a lot of fun with it, but it is too hard.
And you know what actually like sticks in my craw as like that's why I don't like that game? Special attacks causing you damage.
Oh yeah.
Fuck that shit.
I always hate that.
Let me do a
especially for an NES game where you're not pumping quarters into it. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's Game Genie fodder right there.
Right. Totally.
I definitely played through the game with Game Genie.
Oh, you know what? I was playing the Silius game, Journey to Silius over here, which is like a kind of shooter, a run and gun, but platformer. It's fun. It's a little bit Mega Man-ish.
It's not silly at all.
But it's too goddamn hard. And so I was thinking, I was like, you know, it would be a really cool ROM hack idea that there should be like a whole series of ROM hacks like this. Convert your NES games into arcade rules. So it's the same. You can just give yourself credits. Like, because these NES games just lend themselves to arcade style. It's just, when you get a game over, you're fucked. And so if you can just not give yourself a game over, you'd be good. By the way, I hate arcade games that no matter how many quarters you give yourself, after 3 deaths, you're back to the beginning anyway. Like they'll do that to you sometimes anyway. It doesn't matter how much you pay.
Oh, that's cheap.
Like Galaga's like that. Like once you lose all your chips, you're done.
Well, but the point of Galaga is points, so it's like
it's to go as far as you can go.
Go as far as you can go.
I get it, but maybe I want to keep playing. Maybe I want to. I want to see all the levels, even if they all look identical.
You got to get yourself the NES Galaga and get a Game Genie.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good port. It's a good port.
There's
Galaga makes it on my list somewhere.
There's a Galaga port for the TurboGrafx that's called Galaga 90. It was based on Galaga 88 for the arcade. I learned about this on Sega Lord X. And but that's actually
what would we do with that man?
He gives so much. Then I got Dick Tracy. Now Dick Tracy is not a great game, but it's pretty fun for the NES because there's a lot of variety in the gameplay styles. Sometimes you're side-scrolling platforming shooting, sometimes you're in a car, but always you're gathering clues, and it's an open world map, and you're just going building to building, trying to piece together the clues and get the criminal. And you feel like Dick Tracy. I think it's kind of a cool game. I think it's kind of well conceived. Number 17, Chippendale Rescue Rangers, good platformer. That's all I can really say about it. I think the difficulty is pretty spot on. It's good. I like it. I'm not crazy about it, but I like it.
Yeah, I mean those Capcom games, you can't go wrong.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. It's not Ducktales good, but it's good. And then Kid Dracula, which I've talked about on this channel before, but a really good Konami platformer. Maybe just a touch too hard, but generally not too hard. And that is very Mega Man-ish. Bobble, is there anything more fun than hanging out with a friend and playing some Bubble Bobble?
Oh yeah, it's lighthearted. It's fun. You get as far as you can, shoot them bubbles. It's great.
I remember playing it.
Dinosaurs. You're happy.
I played it with John for like a couple hours one time, and we had a blast. We were just laughing and playing Bubble Bobble. Probably eating a lot of food. Freedom Force, which is that light zapper game. Only just discovered it. It's in the top 20. It's a great. It's the best light zapper game. Although I put Duck Hunt above it at number 13 for nostalgia purposes and for style, points for style.
Yeah, you can't, and it's groundbreaking. It was groundbreaking.
And then on the topic of ducks, number 12 is Ducktales. So I think it's very good. I think it's very fun. Good difficulty, good length for an NES game. I don't like long NES games. Don't fuck with me with. I shouldn't be playing an NES game for more than 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's a great shitty Mega Man game.
Yeah. Well, there's a little more to it, wouldn't you say?
I know there's more to it. There's a little more adventure.
Now here's a controversial one. Again, it may be because I owned it, but I really enjoyed Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle.
Which one? I remember Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout. Which one is this one? It's
Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout kind of reminds me of Mario Land for Game Boy.
Yeah, it does.
No, this one is you cannot jump. That's the number one thing about it. You can go in and out of doors to
right, the door. Okay, yep, I got it.
And the whole point is get all the carrots in the level. It's you know what it's like? I never thought about this before. It's kind of like Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker.
Oh, right, yeah.
Very similar to you just have to make your way around without jumping and avoiding enemies. It's pretty good, and there's a lot of levels, and all of your favorite characters are there, from Yosemite Sam to Wile E. Coyote, and they all look fucking weird. And the music is, there's only 2 or 3 songs, the main one being... And
then AVGN can shit on his face.
Yeah, bombs away. And then you've got Kirby's Adventure right after that. Now I'm probably ranking that a little low because that's a damn fine.
That's a good one. That's
NES
like late.
game.
It's late stage NES, so it's almost like Super Nintendo quality.
It truly is. And then of course when they did release it for the GBA, it just was Super Nintendo quality. Much like Mario 3 transferred to Mario All-Stars really well. So did that, and you said it before. It kind of just is the ultimate Kirby game. I mean, no Kirby game since then has.
I even like how he's like a small sprite. Like they've made like Kirby chonkier in Super Nintendo games and even the GBA ones. He's a little chonkier. I like how he's like small. He's petite, and he like runs around the big world. Yeah, he's tight.
He's tight. Actually, while you're on, just a quick detour. I've been talking a lot about Sega Master System versus Sega Game Gear lately. Tell you, the thing that people seem to like their big sprites when it comes to their handheld systems. That is often the major difference between the Master System version and the Game Gear version. I do not like humongous sprites taking up the whole screen, like in those Turtles Game Boy games.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to feel like there's some flexibility in the screen here. You know, I don't like the zoomed in shit.
Yeah, I agree. I need wide open screen for my little tiny Kirby to go.
Like there's a Donald Duck game for Master System called like Lucky Dime Caper. And it's the sizing is completely different between the two versions, and I prefer one over the other greatly. Same goes for the Sonic games, and that would be fun to do too. I actually may do a Genesis games ranked, or maybe I'll do I'll do a video about what my childhood Genesis collection was.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what these top 10 lists are.
Yeah,
it's like, what games have you played in your life that you liked?
So next up is Mega Man 2, which I never played until, I don't know, maybe like 2011 or something, like not that long ago. And I love it. It's great. I think the difficulty for that one is also not unreasonable.
Yeah, that Mega Man 2, I have a Mega Man on my list. It's Mega Man 3.
Right.
I won't say too much about my list. It's part of the video.
You will see it someday.
You'll see it.
Turtles 2, the arcade game. I think it's a really good port of a really good arcade game. It's a little too hard, but you know.
Well, it's funny because I didn't play the arcade game before I played it, so my only frame of reference was the previous one. So compared to that, it's like exactly what you wanted. And so and then I went to like a roller skate place and it had the arcade, and I was like, oh, that's why it's called the arcade game.
Yeah, I was confused for the longest time. I mean, I don't know about you, I just didn't really grow up around arcades that much. It was home consoles was the thing. And then Tetris, which that was my Tetris. It continues to be my Tetris. It's the Tetris I'll pull out and play anytime. I may have logged the most number of hours on that game than any other game in history because I have it on my computer, and just anytime I was doing something thoughtless, I'd be playing. Like I'm very, very good at NES Tetris in particular. I love it. Then TMNT, the first TMNT, it's won me over. You know, the you can just walk over it one. It's won me over as a really strong game. Mike Matei did a video where he was like in defense of the TMNT NES game that they contributed to its current public image by making the joke review of it. But no, it's super clever. 4 turtles, you switch between them. If you lose one, that's a life, and now there's one less turtle you can switch to. They all have different abilities, and you may favor different abilities. There's a variety of gameplay from driving around in the turtle van to needing special items to get over building tops. It's a little bit of a maze. It's a little bit of a puzzle. It's a lot of platforming. It feels like a really grand Turtles adventure. It's very, very clever. And it was made by Ultra, who was the kind of laundered Konami brand. Yeah,
that was always interesting because you had a limit to how many games you could publish per year in Nintendo. Yep. That game, it's like everybody else. You get to the underwater part, you'll run into the algae, you lose all your turtles, and you're just like, okay, I'm done with this game.
But there's so much harder shit after the algae. The algae is nothing. You get through the algae like it's before breakfast. After that is when you get to the goddamn Technodrome. Oh my god! But so there's definitely a difficulty issue there. But it's one of those games I grinded as a child. And you'll notice very few of almost all of my childhood games appear here. Only a few don't, like Ghostbusters and Jeopardy. Although I really did quite enjoy Jeopardy as a kid. Oh, you know what? I don't have SMB1 here accidentally, so I throw Castlevania off the list.
Yeah, so actually, Super Mario Brothers gets an honorable mention because, I don't have the rule where you can only have one of the franchise on a list, but sometimes you just do that naturally. Like you're just like, well, this kind of supplants it.
Yeah,
and you can guess which one supplants it.
Yes, I sure. Yeah, well, I've got that one too. But SMB2 is next because I actually love SMB2. I love the departure of it. I love it felt so much more like the TV show. We've talked about it a lot.
Yeah, I love it. And I talked about it in my Zelda 2 review from 6 years ago where like you didn't even know what to expect from sequels. Like, was it going to be more of the same? They didn't even know. So it was like it made it like because Zelda 2 is totally different. Super Mario Brothers 2, what we got was different, and so you kind of were like, oh, this is the next Mario. Sure, you didn't have expectations.
Totally. Yeah. No. Totally. I love it. I love that you can play as all 4 characters. That really made it feel more like a Mario story and a Mario adventure. And there's a big story element to it with the dream thing, and you get to see kind of like a cartoonish Mario at the end.
Yeah, that was very exciting.
Next is number 4 is Tiny Toon Adventures. It's got to be one of my favorite platformers for the system. It's Konami. They had a sequel, Tiny Toons 2, and it sucks. I'm not into it at all. It's like Wacky Land or something. The first one is like just a great platformer. You pick your companion per episode. The theme song music is there. The feel of the cartoon is there. Most of the characters and sights and sounds of the show are there. Difficulty is reasonable. It's just fun. It's a good damn time. If you're a pretty good gamer, it'll take you about 50 minutes to get through it, and I just love it. And then Legend of Zelda, is what is there to say? But I think Legend of Zelda is number 3. I was talking about this the other day. It's by far my favorite of the franchise.
Really?
And I realized
of the franchise, why?
I realized why. It's because there's no dialogue boxes. I can't stand.
That's true.
I can't stand the dialogue boxes. Yeah.
I got the remake of Skyward Sword, and I got through the tutorial, and I was done. I was floored. Like, there was so much dialogue.
It's not good dialogue either.
No, it's not. It's not something you even want to read. Like, there's nothing compelling about it.
There's something great about NES Zelda is like, dun 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 dun. Just have fun.
That's it.
Go kill stuff. You would be satisfied to just walk around the world and kill stuff and just platform, or not platform, but just do combat. And so I love that one.
I played through that recently on that little Game and Watch thing, and
it's fun.
It's fun because like in my job I'll render something and I'll pick up that Game and Watch and I'll bust Ganon's head in.
And then number 2 would be Batman. Sunsoft's Batman. It's very much its own thing while being very deeply rooted in that Batman 1989 Tim Burton thing. It's got intro credits that show all the Vicky Vale and Joker and Jack Nicholson and stuff, and it just controls great. It sounds great. It feels like heavy in the right way. It's pretty difficult, but it's pretty short, so you have a fair shot at mastering it. It's got the Ninja Gaiden kind of wall jump thing happening. It's got only 3 weapons, and they're kind of all appropriately used at different times. I would say, the only major weakness is, I think Firefly was, or whoever it is at the very end, whoever that mini boss is, I think he was supposed to be the final boss, and then somebody kind of crammed in Joker at the end, and they made an overpowered Joker boss that's you really have to find your finesse to kill him. But I can do it pretty reliably. I think I did a stream once where I didn't die at all. Like, I made it all the way to the end without deaths.
Wow.
Like, I just kind of speed ran it. Love it. I could play it in my sleep. It just feels good. It's I think it's some of the best that NES has to offer if there wasn't Mario 3. Mario 3 obviously wins. Mario 3 transcends the NES, and then
it's almost the best game of all time.
Yeah, it kind of like transcends. It's like almost like, do you really need anything else in a video game? If you had one video game and it was Mario 3, you'd be perfectly happy, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd figure it out.
You'd figure it out.
You'd be like, yeah, this is it.
Like, it's so good that, like, I don't even need additional levels. I don't need remakes of it. I don't need. It's just what it is perfect.
Yeah, I like to play the NES version. Like, even Like I do like the extra levels. They're kind of janky in the Game Boy Advance, but you got to play the original. The original is the one you come back to.
But if you really did want an extension of Mario 3, if you really needed that, I do think Mario 3 Mix, the ROM hack, is a decent way to experience that.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I still haven't played it. It's on my arcade. I just haven't played it.
Oh yeah, you'd love it. You should, maybe once Gabe finally starts to open up to the retro games.
Yeah, he hates them. He hates that they're blocky and small. That's what he says.
So we'll have to do. We should, on some cadence, we should do this with other systems. We'll go through.
Games. Especially ones that I will like never make a video about.
Right. But, exactly. Just use this medium.
Yeah. No, this is a good medium for stuff that we want to put exactly this amount of effort into.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.